There we go. There we go.
Evening, everyone.
We're live.
When we hit the red button, that means we're live, chaps. So I'm here with Chris. I'm here with Will. I'm here with Sanjay. Another Thursday night partner chat. We've got a lot of good topics to cover today.
Yes, we do.
Really looking forward to it. Will, how has your week been so far? Give us a snapshot.
Yeah, it's been really good, actually, really good. So obviously we had the big content day yesterday, so we took loads from that. Finished up with that, straight on to a Beat the Portals with another house in Crowthorne, which is good. So yeah, it's been a busy week for us. We're happy.
Good. Glad to hear it. And I think the market has got a certain bubble about it at the moment, which is quite exciting. We'll talk more about stamp duty in a minute, but it's good. Sanjay, you are a busy man at the moment. I can tell that from your Beat the Portals that are on your Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, so definitely could say that. Yeah, very busy. To be fair, by the end of play tomorrow, we've actually sold out of properties. We've sold everything, all the apartments, all the houses that we've had on. But we've got a big couple of weeks coming up. Hi, Georgina. So yes, very exciting things coming.
So hard to wave on this when you're mirrored, isn't it? I'm waving over here.
Yeah.
And Chris, how are you? Obviously in the Star Trek Enterprise mothership there, by the looks of it, screens and mics and everything.
All good. Yeah, busy as always. Masses of sales progression at the moment. Quite a few deals missed the stamp duty deadline at the end of September, but they're fine. But they're just they're ones that have been going on a bit too long at the moment, which is the same for a lot of agents with just deals taking quite a long time to go through and a few little sort of issues cropping up, but it's all part and parcel of it, isn't it, as we all know. But yeah, other than that, really good couple of listings coming on next week as well, so yeah, happy days.
Good. Thanks for everyone that's joining us now. Just a quick check, if you can hear us live and clear, let us know. Pop the like button so that we know you can hear us okay, and pop it in the comments. Just go, yes, I can hear you, just so that we can double check that across LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, we're in groups, we're on pages, that everyone's good. So a quick bit of housekeeping. If there is a fire or if there is a problem with a child in our house, we have wives and children that burst in. Please be aware we could be invaded at any time. Something that's very important. My little one has had her jabs today, so if she gets dumped on my lap because she's crying, then please be aware of that. Everyone's saying loud and clear. Thank you, Carl, for letting us know. Much appreciated. We've got an awesome agenda that we're going to go through today. So we're going to talk about property videos, how they benefit the buyers and the sellers. Bit of an update on the October property market and maybe how that sort of transitions through to December as well. There we go. Look, more people loud and clear. Lou, thank you very much. There we go. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing tips for selling in the winter, because the season is changing. You can feel it in the air. We get a little bit of sunshine here and there, but it's pretty cold at the moment. And I'm sure rain is around the corner. So how to sell in winter. We're going back to school. If anyone follows the Avocado brand Facebook, you might have seen we're going back to school. So we're going to touch on that as well. What else have we got in here? How to beat the January traffic as well. And then we've now been renamed by someone. I'd love to get everyone's feedback on this as the Avocadians. Avocadians. I quite liked it. Sanjay, what's your thoughts? The Avocadians.
Literally an immediate image just came into my head of Braveheart, Mel Gibson. So if you've seen Braveheart, you'll know what I mean. Like Viking, isn't it? Like old school medieval.
It's got a bit of that Huel about it, the Hooligans, the Avocadians. Yeah, it's got something about it. I might get a hoodie with it hashtagged. I'm not sure. I think we've got Lee's wife to thank for that. It's something she threw in the WhatsApp group and I liked it. Will, your thoughts? You're a man of many opinions.
Bit strange, I think, but we can go with it tonight. There's no problem with that.
Good.
I mean, hey, we get called a lot of things. Avocadians is fine.
Yeah,
absolutely. And if anyone who's watching at any time and you've got a question, any question at all, we will answer any question. It's like a game of truth or dare with no dare. We will answer the question truthfully. So feel free to throw it in the comments. And even if you're watching this and we're not live, we will still answer the question because we pick up all the notifications on our Facebook pages. So thanks for everyone that's in there. Ellen's saying maybe our fans should be called the Avocadians. I mean, I like it. I think it's got legs.
Good shout.
We're going to see how it goes. Sanjay, I'm going to come to you first, though, just to talk about property video. You are probably rivaled with maybe Chris and maybe one other avocado partner as sort of king of the videos. But you're finding at the moment that they're impacting not just the sellers, but the buyers as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example. Did an open house a couple of weeks ago. There was 18 buyers booked in, and I think probably 90% of those buyers, the first thing they walked through the door was like, oh, yeah, I saw the details and I saw the video that you'd put out, and it gave me such a good sense of the area, because obviously you put the area vid stuff in, and it was just it was just mega, and it kind of made their decision. I always say to them, I said, how much of that decision making did that make before you stepped through this house? They were like, we were 50% there, like, and then it was just 50% of going in the house ticking boxes, because they get such a good feel of the property. So yeah, I think it massively benefits the buyer as well as the seller. Probably more so the buyer. What's going on with Janet? I see she's she's piping up.
Janet's asked Chris to turn his monitor off because it was swirly and it was starting to turn me in. It's a bit like in Jungle Book where the snake hallucinates you. It was kind of it's getting me there a little bit.
Keeps you engaged.
Yes, absolutely. Chris, you look like you've got a lovely property you're editing there, talking of videos. You find your buyers and your sellers love these property videos?
Yeah, they do. I mean, you know, it's the comments we get, and I'm sure it's the same across the network. You know, people, you know, the videos are brilliant. You know, all of them, and I think the insight it gives for a buyer's perspective, it just gives an awful lot more than just the standard 8 pictures and a floor plan. Especially, I think the way that we do it. You know, we are seeing other agents. You know, in fairness, I can be as bold to say copy it. Certainly with things like our live videos that we do as soon as we take a listing on. You know, people are starting to follow suit now, and you know, it's a compliment, isn't it, more than anything, because we know the benefit of it. But yeah, I think you know, it's only positive feedback. I've not had anyone say, yeah, I didn't like your video. At the end of the day, they're there to be helpful. They're not there to be controversial, and they're not, are they? You know, they're good, useful, and they're a better way of showing properties than, in fairness, I truly believe, you know, a lot of our competitors are how they're showing them.
Yeah, and if you're watching and you know you've got an opinion on how we upgrade our property videos, we are about innovation. It's one of our core values. So if you've got any ideas on how we could improve them, make them better, then we are all ears. Just in case anyone wonders, it is a pint glass, but it is squash. I never drink and live. It's not a thing that I do.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, there's no drinking and live in here. Will, coming to you, property videos. I know you love getting in front of camera. You and Mike have great fun when you're in front of camera. I've seen some of the bloopers. I mean, if I was videoing with you guys, I don't think I'd ever get anything done. But clients obviously enjoy them because, you know, you're making good headways now with some lovely properties.
Or so they say, yeah. So they say they enjoy them. But yeah, no, we found from some of the open houses, some of the viewings and things that we've done, that people have found that they're really real. So you obviously see a lot of the property, and actually they've come in and they've said, this property, you know, from what I've seen from your video, looks just like it, basically. So, you know, a lot of other agents might use these fancy wide angles and everything else, and these virtual tours, which kind of get stuck and are a bit glitchy. People have been really pleased about it. And of course, the local area chats and sort of hotspot tours that we do, again, people have said to us, actually, we didn't know that was 2 minutes walking distance down the road. So yeah, loads and loads of good feedback. And of course, from the sellers as well, when Mike's not laughing.
I mean, I quite enjoy the bloopers, I must admit, and I know we've fired a few out there every now and then. Andy Mead is king of the bloopers. Actually, he's got some phenomenal ones. Probably not for business display, but if anyone
most of which can't be aired.
Yeah, they can't be aired, I don't think, but they are brilliant. Moving on to stamp duty, we covered this probably almost to its death, and now it is at its death, the holiday at least.
Thankfully.
So not necessarily talking about stamp duty because we know the impact it's had, and congratulations to everyone that's saved on tax because well done and got moved and the market's booming. But the fallout and the aftermath of this stamp duty phase, Chris, compared to the last one, do you think it'll be the same? Because in July, we saw a lot less properties come on the market. Do you think it's unfazed because the home counties, it's not the same impact, 2.5 grand versus 15? What's kind of your view on it?
I think, being really blunt about it, I don't think it's going to make a particularly blind bit of difference. Don't get me wrong, the £2,500 potential saving there, 2.5 grand is 2.5 grand. It's a lot of money to all of us. But given in comparison to the up to 15 grand saving that was available to the end of June, and we did see a drop off in new listings, particularly on my side, come the start of July. But then it soon picked up again. I'm not seeing any dramatic difference. All the properties that I've got a few that are sub 250 at the moment. They are all getting viewings this week. They've all had viewings. In fact, actually, I've booked viewings on every single one of them today. So, I'm not particularly worried about it. We are coming into I suppose a controversial time of year now in terms of opinions with estate agents in terms of what they feel the market's going to do and what it doesn't do this time of year. But so far, no less up on that side of things. Instructions are still pretty good. I've got two more booked in for next week, 2 corkers actually, which I'll go on to in a bit. But my blunt, straightforward answer is I don't think it's going to have a huge impact now. I think we're done with it, and I'm also, I think with probably quite a lot of other people, quite pleased that it's now done, because the amount of pressure that was being put on, not just us, and I've got no problem with that, but I think the lawyers as well, lawyers being so overstretched to make it happen, and then not being able to do it, and the compromise in service that they've been able to give over these past couple of months. I desperately want to see that get better, because a lot of issues at the moment are just that solicitors, bless them, are just massively overstretched.
Do you think, Sanjay, with the transaction speeds, that it's now going to start to reduce? I mean, ours is not too bad. I know Ellen, your business partner, fired some statistics out there recently. I don't know if you've got those off the top of the dome to share with us, but it seems like hopefully it will improve.
100%. I've already seen an improvement. I mean, personally, myself and Ellen, like some of the properties we're getting through, like, legal transactions from point of agreeing an offer to completion is 8 to 9 weeks. And that was obviously September stamp duty. So, and to be fair, just touching on that stamp duty, I don't think I've had a conversation about stamp duty with any seller in the last 2 to 3 months. It hasn't come up in conversation because it's not a thing. It's just not a thing anymore. So I don't think, same as Chris, I don't think it's going to affect anything moving forward.
No. There was a whopping amount of completions that took place at the end of the month, though. We could see that, Will, and I know you obviously had your first batch of completions coming in now as well. So congratulations on that. Are you hearing anyone talking about it at all at the moment, or is it very much just a case of go, go, go?
Yeah, I think that certainly, Crowthorne, for example, I think that, there's not loads and loads of houses still coming available. And I know we've talked it to death, but with interest rates being so good, I don't see there being a problem with the market. I think there's a lot of people over the last year that have been saving up, ready to buy. So when that property comes available, it's going very quickly still. So yeah, I don't see there being a problem in the next year.
Awesome stuff. Couple of comments coming in here. For those that were on the live last week, I was running the London Marathon on Sunday. So was Rob, who's commenting. Great efforts on the charity fundraising. I use that as an opportunity just to quickly plug Dingley's Promise. Special, they help kids with special needs and disabilities and learning support. They're based in Wokingham, Newbury and Reading. Managed to raise just under 2.5 grand for them, and I got around the London Marathon with a torn calf in just under 4 hours. So
well done.
Thank you for the mention, Rob. I'm just about recovered, saw the osteopath and had a nice little sports massage earlier. So I'm ready to go, and the leg is on the mend. So Rob, thank you for that. Tristan saying hi as well from the landlord page. Podcast is booked in. He mentioned it last week, but the podcast for landlords is booked in, and it will launch on the 22nd of this month. There's some cracking first lineups on that, so look out for that as well. Couple of tips then for selling in winter. I mean, it's actually been quite a clear, nice day today, but leaves are starting to hit the ground. Rain is erratic. It gets a bit colder. It's all a bit dreary and deary. Will, any kind of quick fire tips that you've got for people that are thinking of selling over the next couple of weeks and months?
Yeah, of course. I mean, first impressions remain obviously key. It gets a bit wet, gets a bit muddy. So sweeping the driveways, make sure there's a mat by the back door, make sure there's a brolly by the back door. I think keeping it nice and warm. Obviously, first impressions again, walking into that house, it needs to be bright as well because it gets a bit dingy. So if it's during the day, curtains open, lights on. If it's dark, lights, make sure lights are working outside the house, maybe security lights, things like that. Just double check they're all working. Again, leaves and things, so block drains, gutters, first impressions, isn't it? I think with those things. So, a few tips there.
Sanjay, any advances on that from you on the winter tips for selling?
Main thing for me, and it's a real bed bug, and I hate it, is shoes. Like, if you don't have a mat in your front door or some sort of shoe coverings, maybe just invest in some shoe coverings. I've got loads in my car, and I'll be taking them to all my sellers' houses. If the last thing you want is someone walking in there with their shoes, even if they're wet and they've gone in the first few steps. I know what I've had in a recent open house. You've got tiled floors when you walk in. It's wet outside, and you've got 18 buyers going through the door, plus their partners. That's 30 odd people. Like, you just don't want that. So yeah, massive thing for me is shoe coverings.
Chris, anything else to add to the winter selling tip?
Yeah, I guess it's probably for buyers as well, really. But I would always say, where possible, try and make a property available during the daylight hours. Because if you view in the evening, and I appreciate, don't get me wrong, a lot of us can't view properties during the day because we're busy working, etc. But then obviously you'd also look at the weekend. But if possible, try and view and allow viewings during daylight hours. Obviously during the week can be more difficult, as I just said, but weekends in particular, Saturdays and Sundays as well, when most of our competition is shut, but we'll still be doing viewings on it on our property. So I think there's nothing wrong with doing a second viewing, obviously, and most people do want to do second viewings. But if you view in the dark, you're going to want to view it in the day anyway. Let's face it. So yeah, that's other than what the guys have already said. I was going to say a new doormat, nice fresh doormat, looks good. Clean windows as well. Get as much natural light in as possible. The usual kind of things, and just keep an eye on your garden with leaves. If you've got trees overhanging it, clear those leaves as often as you can.
One thing that I would add is about agency boards. Actually, as it gets darker earlier, and like Chris said, people are likely to view in the evenings when it is a bit darker. It's really difficult, even at the back of a cul-de-sac, to spot the house you're looking to view, and it can be a bit frustrating. So if you have got your agent where they're one of the agents that put the board at the end of the road with a number tag on to boost their own branding, ask them to put it back on your own premises, A, because they're not meant to, but B, it helps the viewer. And even if your house is not on a road and it's at the back of the cul-de-sac and you think, oh, no one's going to see it, the viewer will. And if it saves them a little bit less stress when they come to see the property, it makes a big difference. So I think we should all make a conscious effort around this area in the home counties to get estate agency boards back outside houses and not just randomly pinned all over the place, because
it's awful, isn't it?
Graffiti, something. They're all over the shop at the moment. It's out of control. So if your estate agent's watching, stop being so naughty and put your boards outside the house.
Or next time I'll name and shame you all.
Yeah, or we're going on TikTok to have some fun with it. Watch out for that video. Mike's got a question. Love Will's new hair. Had a fresh trim today, Will?
It was actually yesterday, but yeah, I thought beat the portals yesterday, fresh trim, and I like to please Mike, so that's what he wanted. It's his turn now, though. His is growing out of control, so
That's great.
Looks lovely. Andy Humphreys, off the back of last week, where Chris, obviously I kind of let slip online that you'd got engaged while you were away. What other secrets do I have? I've got a secret about Dan and Neil, but I'm not going to put it online, and I'm just going to leave that there.
Oh, go on.
Come on.
So you make your own mind up. You've seen their videos. Ellen has asked a question here. Christmas trees in property photos. Obviously, the word Christmas, we're getting round to it. Some people are saying on social media at the moment they're going to put their Christmas trees up at the end of October this year. Start celebrating early. I am starting to see a few Christmas things creep into shops. If you go into Costco at the moment, it's everywhere. But Sanjay, going to you, because you're very neat, tidy, bit OCD. What's your thoughts on Christmas trees in property videos? Seasonal, relative, or against it?
100%. Doesn't the house look better when it's got Christmas decorations on there? I'm not gonna lie. I've got some. No,
Not
actually,
January,
I'm not gonna drop anything right now. But yeah, 100% with the Christmas trees and Christmas decorations. Maybe a garland. No, yeah, just go crazy. Why not?
I can see you doing a video through the reef, maybe something like that. Chris, maybe get the drone, fly through the reef.
yeah, if you got a big enough wreath, yeah.
Some cool intros to be done there. On my personal view on Christmas is Christmas trees are a must, because you want to know that that property has just gone online. And if you're viewing that property on the 15th of December and you see it online with a Christmas tree, you know it's only just gone on. And actually, when you're looking in December and you see properties online that don't have Christmas trees up, and it's a nice sunny setup with, I don't know, sort of blue sky, you think, well, it must have been on for ages. So, yeah, I think it's seasonal. But what you have to make sure is your agent commits to going around the first week of January and obviously retaking the photos, redoing the video, and make sure it doesn't impact it later down the line. And we're going to talk about beating the traffic next, actually. For January, we've got some questions coming in here. There's loads to that. I'm loving this. What have we got here? Mr. Christmas already has some decorations up. I mean, we don't know if that's true, but Sanjay, if you do, I love it. Rael's asking, pets in property photos, yay or nay?
Nay.
Yay,
No.
all day long.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I've got a good reason for it as well.
Okay,
What
go
is
on
it?
then.
Well, I mean, particularly with dogs. Dogs, they are precious pets, aren't they? And I don't think they should be in photos. I think it can be a bit of a security risk. There's all rife about pets being stolen recently. Well, not recently, for a long time now. But I don't think personally they should be in.
So just leave the children and take the
Children
picture.
fine, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
joking, but
Here's some more questions here from Lou. Family photos that are on the walls in pictures, yes or no?
No, I always ask my sellers before I come around and do the photos and video to take them down if they don't want them in.
Yeah.
If not, we can blur them out.
I think it's what people are comfortable with the World Wide Web seeing, basically. I think they should be, if things are in detail in a video or a photo, then they should be blurred out. Most of the time, they're not particularly visible, but I think that's really a question for a seller to answer. Really, what are you happy with people seeing?
Yeah, I blurred a few out. When you get the big canvases, I don't know if that might be what Lou means as well. You got the big canvases that go up there. With the young children, I'll try and blur those out. Use Photoshop to kind of blur those out. I've done that quite a few times. So yeah, I think that's definitely a fair way of looking at it. What about for viewings, Will? What do you think about viewings? Loads of family photos everywhere, or do you think sort of take some of the personalisation out, leave it up? What's your view on that?
I don't mind it, and again, like you guys have said, I think it's up to the seller. But I think in terms of a viewing, at the end of the day, it shows it's a family home. If you've got pictures of the family and everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, it feels like a warm, inviting home. So I don't have a problem with it personally. But as you guys say, it's up to the sellers. Yeah, it depends how big they are. But few photos, it makes it look inviting, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, appreciate that. Janet's said, "Be careful." I think she means about pets, maybe not Chris's screens, but she does have an issue with Chris's screens, so it could be some feedback on that. I'm not sure, but I think it's to do with the pets. Be careful with the pets, like Chris says. We don't want to see those go walking, and I think Rael said it would put her off as well. So maybe it's too much personalisation. You want to as well. If you take the pet thief scenario out of it, you obviously want to visualize yourself living there, not someone else living there. I think is quite important as well. Where were we? A flurry of questions there. Love that. So we're talking about beat the traffic in January. Typically, January is one of the busiest, if not the busiest month of the year for new listings. What that means for sellers, and we're talking to sellers here, it means there's more competition. And when there's more supply and demand at the moment stays high, so I don't think it'll be so much a problem this year, but sometimes when there's more supply, it can level things out. It can be the difference of getting asking price or not. What would your advice be, Sanjay, to people if they're ready to sell now, but they're thinking, I'll just wait till the new year? What would you say to them?
go for it right now. Like, there's no point in waiting. You know, we look at last year. Last year was a whole different market, a whole different circumstance with COVID and lockdowns and all of that stuff. So there was more activity, like, granted. But if you've got the opportunity and you're ready to put it on the market now and sell, then you can. I think personally, it will be a January rush again. It will kind of go back to normal slightly. So you've got an opportunity or a window now to take advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Chris, any advances on that?
I completely agree with Sanjay on that. I think, you know, if your decision is made, you're going to move. Well, crack on. You know, take advantage of what's still a ridiculously good market. You know, no, unless you've got a specific reason to need to wait until, you know, the newer part of the year, then I'd get cracking. You know, but a lot of people don't want the hassle of having viewings and things between the Christmas, you know, between Christmas and New Year and whatnot. And albeit we do stay available and we're able still to do viewings, but again, that's fine. We can avoid that, but at least being on the market, being exposed, getting the exposure with us casting the net as wide as we do, well, that's only a benefit. So yeah, 100%. I'd say if the decision is made, you're going to move, but you're thinking, right, yeah, January the 2nd, we're going to get cracking. Don't wait, don't delay, move today. You know, I just get cracking.
You sounded very estate agency there.
I really did, didn't I? Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, back to the Avocardians. Between Christmas and New Year, I know we're talking a lot about Christmas here. It's the 7th of October. But between those periods, the last 2 years, Rightmove have had their busiest traffic days ever, which shows actually if you're on the market before the New Year, then that's the busiest window where people are shopping around online. And I guess the big difference, we try not to plug ourselves too much on this, but sometimes it just happens. But the big difference between us and the traditional agents, Will, is they all close up for Christmas and we're still there. Look, we're not going to be doing viewings on Christmas Day, Boxing Day and every day between Christmas and New Year, but we're happy to rule out a morning and go and do a couple of viewings and get a property sold for a vendor, aren't we, in between Christmas and New Year? So why not start early, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, there's still a lot of people looking, you know, up until now and Christmas. So, you know, arguably you might even get yourself a better price now because the competition is less. So yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter when it is. We'll be doing the viewings. We don't close for Christmas where you can't get hold of us. So as Chris says, sell today.
Yeah, love that. Rails asked a question as well. Sanjay, I'll come to you in 2 secs. Okay. If the comment before, it's in 2 comments. If you won the lottery, would you buy a buy to let or would you pay off your mortgage? Sanjay, before you fire your other question, which one of those would you go for? Buy to let or pay the mortgage off?
Me being me, it'd be a buy to let.
Okay. And what else were you going to say, dude?
I remember last year on New Year's Eve, I had a viewing and it was on with us and another agent. And I showed a buy around on New Year's Eve and they offered and we got it agreed at like 8 o'clock in the evening on New Year's Eve, telling the seller and the buyer was great. It was a great gift for them to go on for their New Year. So it was quite nice. So yeah, no, definitely. I'm a massive fan of in between Christmas and New Year.
No, love that. And this is our business. And last year, you know, I was doing viewings on a couple of properties in Warfield and places like that. And I've got no problems with going and leaving the wrapping paper for a couple of hours and the mince pies, doing a viewing, trying to help someone find a home, beat the traffic, try and help someone achieve a sale. That's what we're here for. That's why we're bespoke and exclusive estate agents. We can do what others can't do. And that's one of the benefits of the model, I believe. So I'm just going to go around the room and ask what secret listings you've got coming up. Always like to find out what everyone's got coming up over the next week or so. So Will, anything exciting to report for the Crowthorne, Sandhurst, Finch, Hampstead markets?
Yeah, well, you obviously saw, or perhaps you didn't see, but we did beat the portals yesterday. We've got a 4-bedroom detached house coming on in Pinewood Avenue at 700,000. Hello.
Hi, Mini Chris.
So yeah, that'd be a good one. Lovely garden, lovely spot, obviously walking distance into Crowthorne. We've actually got a 3-bed semi as well in Oakham Park, which we should be doing some details on next week, coming on just under the 500k mark. So yeah, it's all go for us at the moment, which is good.
There is numerous people I know looking for those types of properties, being that I live in that area as well. So great instructions there. If anyone's watching on any of the pages and they're thinking, you know what, I'm not moving because I can't find, but that's the sort of thing. A lot of people move from Sanjay's patch in Bracknell to Crowthorne. So if you've got 3-bed terraces and you're thinking of moving to Crowthorne, there's a couple of properties that might be for you. So that's really good news. Chris, anything on the bubble over the next couple of weeks? Any secret squirrels that you want to
I've got 2 corkers next week. I've got one that's coming on for £1.25 million in Camberley. It's an awesome house, about 3,000 square feet, 3rd acre. In, again, I say it all the time, one of the best roads in Camberley, but it is. Yeah, there's sort of 5 or 6 roads in Camberley which are the best roads. This is a super house. I sold one round the corner from this one a couple of weeks ago in Parkway, where there was a huge amount of interest and buyers for it. It probably should be the same for this one as well. This is bigger, equally as good a plot. It's also can still be a project, but some parts of this house got one of the best en suites I've seen in 22 years of doing this job. It's pucker. That's the word I'm going to use. It's amazing. So that one's coming on Tuesday. There'll be a Beat the Portals on that. There's another one as well, which is coming on for 650, which is a 4-bed detached. Might not be going live next week, might be the following week after, but that's on the outskirts of Heatherside in Camberley. Big house. It's got a massive entrance hall to it. It's a 1/5 of an acre plot, which for Heatherside, those of you that know Heatherside, is very, very rare to have that kind of plot. And it's also a house that's got masses of potential. So that's coming on at 650, and there'll be a lot of people for that one as well. So yeah, if anyone wants a little bit more info, just drop us a message, and I'll directly message you and let you know a bit more, as much information as I can before they crop up. But yeah, 2 absolute corkers.
Make sure you're following these pages. If you're looking on other channels, follow their pages, follow their Instagram, follow their Facebook. Chris, the monitors have come back in. I don't want to annoy Janet. Sanjay, what have you got on the bubble? There's some great family homes here. What have you got coming up in Bracknell?
So we've got 7 properties which we can actually do that are not live at the moment. They are actually taking off market viewings. We've got viewings on a couple of them already. Couple of absolute corkers, as Chris would say. So got a lovely 3-bedroom terrace in the Woodhurst Park development in Warfield coming up, which I'm really excited about. That in Berkeley Homes, they just do an amazing spec, and these houses just fly out. There's always so much demand for them. So I'm excited for that to come up. We've got a really cool, quirky character apartment conversion coming on in Warfield as well, which would be that'll be next week. So yeah, really excited about that one too. Got a 2-bedroom terrace in the Parks development in Bracknell. If you know the Parks, again, they're just so popular. We've already got a couple of viewings on that one, so I can't imagine that one. That's coming on, price to be determined, but guide price around about 310. So really good price. Yeah, so it's gonna sell, and no onward chain as well, which is always good. It's empty, so they're ready to go.
I might have a landlord for that one, Sanjay.
Okay, you DM me after the live, yeah.
I will.
I've got 2 landlords. Sorry, Sanjay. Sorry to cut across you. I've got 2 landlords as well for that one, Sanjay. We'll talk after this about that. But yeah, I've got two that will view that.
Oh, there you go. Look. Wow. Got to be quick on that one. That's going to go quick. Got a really nice 5-bedroom detached in the family home. Probably one of the best positions in the Parks development in Bracknell. I cannot stress this enough. I've been to a lot of these houses in the Parks development, and I can't see a better positioned house there, and it's immaculate inside as well, and there's no onward chain, which is going to be good. So there's going to be a lot of upsizes that are going to be a closed chain on that. And then we got a 2-bedroom in Crown Wood, and I'm not just saying this, but one of the best 2-bedroom houses in Crown Wood that I've seen. It was basically previously owned by an interior designer. Just to give you some context, they've done a massive extension, summer house, the whole lot. Like it's decked out. Ellen's just messaged me saying we've sold one of the off-market ones, so apologies about that. Can't tell you any more about that. So we're actually down to 6. And then we've got a bungalow, rare opportunity for a bungalow in Birch Hill. That's coming on in a few weeks' time as well. So we'll share more on our pages, but if you're not following our page, we can get viewings to all of these houses at the moment. So yeah, make sure you're following.
And just while we're live, I've had a message from someone that is putting their 2-bedroom apartment on in Shinfield, which is I mention it because it's a shared ownership. So if anyone's looking at shared ownerships, 50-50 shared ownerships, first-time buyers out there, if there's any parents watching in the kind of Reading, Shinfield area, then that'll be coming on as well. So there's some absolute stunning houses coming on. Going back to school, I've mentioned on a couple of these lives with different partners how awesome it would be to get some of us avocado partners that have got decades worth of experience into secondary schools, to help some of the kids that are leaving secondary schools just get an idea about how buying a property is, what you need to do to save, how a mortgage works. And I'm pleased to say, first secondary school that I went to meet, the headmaster's given us the thumbs up on that to go in the next couple of weeks, and meet with the year 13s and just spend 45 minutes with them talking about how the property market works, how you can buy a house, the average age of a first-time buyer, and let's try and get that down. Let's get people on the ladder as soon as we can. So I'm excited for that. And I've got another secondary school in Wokingham bubbling as well, potentially. So going back to school, looking forward to it. We have run over the 30 minutes that we normally try and allocate, just because there's been some gold tonight. I've loved this chat. We've had loads of comments from people. So thank you to everyone that's engaged. We'll obviously be back next Thursday at 6 o'clock. Sanjay, Will and Chris, it's been a fantastic chat, gents. I'm very excited to see some of these properties beat the portals come up. And we will speak again soon, no doubt.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, mate. See you soon.